I'm going to call the meeting to order April 30th, 2020 of the Park and Rec Commission. Do we have a quorum? Okay, great.
Yes, we do.
First of all, we need approval of the minutes from February 27th, 2020.
Motion to
So
approve.
moved by Mike Weston.
Second by Mike Chevalier.
Okay, we got approval in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we need a roll call vote for that, or are we okay?
We're good.
Maybe you can just ask if anyone's opposed.
Okay, anybody opposed? Nobody, okay, motion approved.
Perfect.
Next thing is unfinished business, or actually new business. Resolution authorizing a transfer of park funds to Regner shelter construction. I think that might get.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, good evening. We are requesting approval to transfer $15,000 from the PARC account fund to a capital projects account for the construction of the new Regner fishing shelter in the park. We have received some really wonderful donations. One $20,000 or almost $20,000 donation from the Regner rejuvenation account. Also a $20,000 donation from the early risers. The Kiwanis early risers to go towards this project. Right now, estimated cost for the project is around $67,000. I can't say our bids are coming in a lot better than what we originally thought. So we're hoping it's going to be quite a bit less than $67,000. So part of the agreement with the early risers and the rejuvenation group was with their donations, the city would also support the project with the PARC account. At this point in time, or at the end of March, we had over $65,000 in that PARC account. And again, we are requesting to transfer $15,000 to an operation account so we can get that project kicked off.
Okay, do we have anybody want to talk about it? Transferring the money?
Mike, I have a question. Mike, you said, I thought the bids, we had a low bid that was lower than expected. Am I incorrect?
We did. What we did was we direct purchased the shelter itself. We already ordered that. We already paid for that. Then we went out for bid for constructing the shelter, like putting the shelter up, the concrete work, and all that. The only things remaining yet are the electrical work and the masonry columns, because the shelter is going to look just like the main open-air pavilion in Regner. Same type of roofing materials, same colors, and then with the Regner stone on it, the land and stone. So we basically have two more contractors to hire to finish the project. We haven't gone out for those quotes yet. Just this project right now is on hold because of the COVID situation, and this is classified as aesthetic construction. So we cannot start it yet. So the original cost estimate for the project was $67,000. Right now, I would guess it's going to be around $60,000 for the project.
Anything else? Anybody want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to transfer the $15,000.
Second.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, I guess Mike, you're up again, I believe. Authorizing transfer of recreation fund balance to the library rec center project?
Sure. Again, we are requesting approval to transfer $150,000 from the recreation fund balance to a capital projects fund or account for the library recreation center construction project. For this project, we have secured several outstanding donations to help support this project. So with those donations, the money from the recreation fund and also money from the library fund should cover the balance of phase 1 construction and possibly do some work towards a phase 2 construction. Phase one again will be, the lobby, the dance studio, the multi-purpose room, restroom, things like that, storage, a lot of HVAC things, fire protection, etc. As of December 31st, 2019, we did have just over $251,000 in that recreation account. And again, that account is for projects like this, covering some operational costs for recreation, things of that nature. So we are requesting to transfer $150,000 out of the recreation fund. That right now we are right around the $250,000 mark for that fund.
Mike, this is Mike Sarl. Have you got a hard quote yet on that first phase one project at all, or not?
No, we do not. Actually, the bid specs and the bid documents, the plans, we are probably at literally, Mike, like at 95%. We're probably,
Can everybody hear Mike?
those, finished up here the next
Mike
week.
is breaking up a lot.
One thing that's kind of
He's coming in and out on mine.
Everything because you're in New York. Right now, the next hurdle, Mike Starlow, is going to be the mandatory pre-bid meeting. We're going to try and do a virtual pre-bid meeting for this because we can't meet in large groups and all that. So we do not have bids yet in or anything like that. We are going off of cost estimates provided to us by
The architect.
Zimmerman Design, who did all the design work.
So, again, this is Mike Starl. Why can't we get a hard bid right now? What's the reason for that?
We need to finish the bid documents.
Okay,
Then we need to go out for bid to get those
Okay.
bids
Okay.
back. So right now it's just procedural. The thing with the transfer right now is it's just like the shelter. We need money in an operational account, so when these bids come through and we can start construction, we have money on hand to actually do the work. Our finance department doesn't like providing us with POs and things like that unless we have actual money in the account to execute the project. So if it passes tonight, again, we had to take it to Common Council May 18th. So just procedurally, to transfer these funds, it's not one or two votes, it's several votes in several weeks at a time. So that's why we're trying to get some of this work done. I had to have the project. So.
okay. Any discussion out there about the transferring of the money?
Megan?
I just have a quick question for Mike.
Megan?
Is this half of the estimated cost, or is the library kicking in towards this?
Great question. We are looking at $150,000 from the recreation fund, $150,000 from the library reserve fund. We've also secured $100,000 in private donations. So right now we're looking at about $400,000 towards the project. And again, if we get good, decent bids that come in and we're well below that, we would keep those funds in that account again for phase two, that we can just hopefully continue with phase two in the near future.
No, that's outstanding.
So it's basically wrapped in part, splitting half, and then additional, private donations funding the other.
Correct. Sorry, you were kind of just breaking up a little bit, Megan. So again, $150,000 from the rec, $150,000 from the library, and $100,000 from private donations.
No, that's great news, Mike, it really is. So.
Okay, can you hear me?
I move to transfer $150,000 from the rec fund. Make the motion to transfer the $150,000 from our rec fund to the library recreation center project.
So you got a motion, do we have a second?
I'll
Got
second.
a motion and a
I
second, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion approved. Outstanding. Next one is the COVID-19 response grant application, Parkside O, that the city has gone through. I guess, Mike, you're up again.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to give everyone kind of a quick background on this project, or the grant and the process and things like that. So bear with me. I'll try and provide you with all the information. Tonight's
Can't hear
discussion
you,
is
Mike.
more or less just discussion. We wanted to make, what's that, Jim? So,
Can't hear you, in and out.
so
I can hear him good. There must be something wrong on your side, Joe.
Okay, so I'm going to keep going here. So, in early April, the city of West Bend became aware of a new COVID-19 response grant that was being operated through the University of Wisconsin-Madison School of Medicine and Public Health. This grant is designed to help community organizations respond to the challenges created by COVID-19. This is a strategic, flexible, rapid response program designed to support innovative response of high-impact projects that aim to improve the health of people in Wisconsin. These projects could lessen the impact of COVID-19 through several different approaches, including public health projects. This grant program is providing $700,000 statewide to support community-led projects. The awards will range from $25,000 to $100,000. This is a quick response grant where the application should receive their notice on April 30th, 2020, and they are expecting these programs to start in early May 2020. So again, a rapid response grant. The city determined that this grant would be a good opportunity to start phase 1 development of Parkside O. Our department worked with city administration and the communications department to submit the grant that is before you this evening. The grant proposal, which was named Together Trails, would include trails and bike course development, a shelter, a vault toilet, site amenities, a parking area, a boardwalk, and possibly a small bridge, a footbridge at the property. The most recent master plan for Parkside O was developed in 1999 and into the early 2000s. In 1999, a large portion of the property was purchased with stewardship funding, and this master plan for the stewardship funding included league quality ball diamonds, soccer fields, possibly an aquatic center, playgrounds, tennis, biking, hiking, etc. Basically, the master plan for Parkside O is another community park for West Bend. Since the early 2000s, our department executed many other development priorities instead of Parkside O. Such developments in the early 2000s include developing 3 neighborhood parks, constructing several sections of the Riverwalk, developing Clovis Creek Park, constructing Eisenbahn Trail development improvements here in West Bend, renovating Regner Park, and most recently the development downtown with the new Riverwalk and the 2 new parks. Basically, since the early 2000s, we've been busy with many other priorities, development priorities, park development priorities. So that's why Parkside O is pretty much sitting idle at this point in time. The short timeline on this grant program did not allow the city to bring this proposal to the park commissioner before this date. Basically, we found out about this grant program in early April. We had a deadline of like April 12th or April 14th to get this grant submitted. City administration wanted to push for this, and we submitted a grant real quick. And so we were supposed to find out today, April 30th, if we did receive any grant funds. I have not received any notifications today whatsoever. So the grant information before you would be, $103,000 of potential improvements to this property. So that's pretty much where we're at right now. And I'd be happy to take any questions, from the commission.
Mike, where's Parkside O?
Great question.
By the ice rink.
Parkside O is located
Behind the ice center.
behind the ice arena on South Main Street. Yep.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yep.
So, what do you need out of us tonight? We don't need a motion or anything. Do we approve this?
No, we more or less just wanted to bring it before the commission. Normally, something like this, a grant process, park construction process, naming rights for a property, development for a property, all of that information and discussion would come before the park commission before any grant or anything like that would ever go out. That is the typical process. And this particular process, it was just a hurry up. We got to get the information out. So we wanted to make sure that the commissioners were aware that the city applied for the grant and what was in the grant, and then obviously answer any questions or concerns that any of the commissioners may have had. So that tonight, Mike, is really basically discussion at this point in time.
Okay. Anybody else have questions for Mike at all?
I do, Jim here.
Mike, is this a matching grant?
Too. Please, this is a very unique situation and everything. I think we have to be very careful and look at all the ramifications that can occur with this. The estimate I have before me is $108,000 to do it. But what happens if there's an overrun beyond what the state gives us? There's a lot of things that we're looking at here. I don't think this is something we should rush in and improve without fully investigating it and looking at all the potential as we normally would whenever we develop a park. This is one of these situations where an old German adage, I live in Violet, haste makes waste. So please keep that in mind. In my mind, this is strictly information only, which would require a lot of discussion and inspection on the part of our staff and on the part of the commission before we even think about accepting the grant or moving ahead on it. There's a lot of things that have happened with this that the commission was never even made aware of, and I'm glad Mike is bringing it to us now. So, but this is something I think we have to take a good time to make a real thoughtful and legitimate decision on. So that's my take.
Does everybody agree with Jim on that situation?
Mike, is this kind of like we've had it in council before where we apply for a grant, if we get it, we don't necessarily have to accept it?
As far as I know, Steve, yes. The city of West Bend applied for the grant. If the city of West Bend has provided that gift, the city of West Bend still has their choice of denying the grant. Also, to answer Mike Weston's earlier question, this is not a matching grant. City of West Bend does not have to match any of the funds with this grant. Many times with stewardship grants and things like that, it's a 50-50 match with the municipality. This is not a matching grant.
All right, that's good too.
Any other discussion on this? Okay, thanks, Mike, for the information. So, next, I believe would be donations for March and April. There's 10 of them.
And I'm going to give that to Carolyn because she's here too.
Hey,
Carolyn. Good to see you all. So I'm going to run through the donations we have tonight. We actually have 11. There was one added at the there was a revised agenda, so I do have 11. The first one is Laughing Mountain Popcorn. They gave us a gift of $50 towards the sponsorship of the movie night in the park, and that is plans for that are going ahead. Mike will talk about that a little bit more later as well. June 24th, a drive-in movie format. Also from First Bank Financial Center, we have a monetary gift of $1,000 towards the movie night in the park for sponsorships. And again, we thank Laughing Mountain Popcorn and First Bank Financial for those donations. Next one up is JW Speaker. They gave us a gift of $1,250. This is a sponsorship for the Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids. Also from the Meyer Corporation, $1,250, a sponsorship for the Dirty Ninja Mud Run for Kids. We appreciate JW Speaker and Meyer for supporting our rec division in this way. Kohler Credit Union gave us a gift of $2,500. This is also for our rec division. $2,000 sponsorship for the youth softball and t-ball leagues, and $500 for the July 4th sandcastle building contest at Regner Park. We hope that we can have both of these events, have this league this summer. Looking at that right now with Nick Lemke, a recreation supervisor. Also the Sandcastle Building Contest at Regner as well. So thank you to Kohler Credit Union for those donations. Whitetails Unlimited gave us a gift of $500 for archery range improvements. This is a yearly gift that they do donate. The archery range on Municipal Drive benefits from these donations. We're able to keep that facility looking fantastic. So thank you to Whitetails Unlimited for that donation. Next up, we have a donation of a bike rack. The bike rack has an approximate value of $200, and that was given to us by the Historic Art and Business Association. This bike rack is soon to be installed at the Fireman's Memorial Bluff. They're on North Main Street, just north of Regner Park. So we thank the Historic Art and Business Association for that gift. As Mike had alluded to earlier, the Regner Rejuvenation Committee has given us a gift of $19,536.40 towards the new shelter to be constructed near the Regner Park Fishing Pond. This is money from the Regner Rejuvenation Committee funds that were from the fishing pond development, and they designated that for this new shelter at the fishing pond. And also the Early Risers Kiwanis, that is a $20,000 gift toward Regner Park Fishing Pond Shelter. And we thank the Kiwanis and the Regner Rejuvenation Committee for those donations. Finally, we have a very generous gift from Rose Johnson to support our library basement recreation center build out. Rose has given us that gift of $50,000, and that is also going, one of those donations, private donations to benefit the library basement. So thank you to Rose Johnson.
How much was that, Carol?
How much was that again? How much from Rose Johnson?
$50,000.
50, thank you. Very generous.
Yep. Again, you can see the city of West Bend, how we're fortunate how they donate money, and we're very, very fortunate. So we need a motion to approve these donations.
I'd move to accept and acknowledge said donations.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
I have two questions.
All in favor? All in favor?
Mike Starr or Mike Weston has a question.
Okay. Yep.
I have a couple of questions. Does the movie night, do these pay for the whole movie night, these donations?
No, most of the time it doesn't, Mike. With an event like Movie in the Park, we normally have several different sponsors to support movie in the park. Like Bob's Main Street Auto, they're going to be supporting the June 24th Movie in the Park. There's several different sponsors for each one of those smaller events.
Okay. And then if unfortunately something gets canceled, would you return the money, or is that something that you would discuss with the donator if they want to use it for future or for the next year?
That is an excellent question. What we are doing with sponsors this year for all of our events, if the event does get canceled, we will contact them. If they would like to have their donation returned, we will do that. Otherwise, we will just carry their sponsorship into 2021 if that's what they would like to do.
Sounds good.
Any others?
That's all I have.
Okay, we got a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Next, reports, the chairman. Again, summer events are kind of all up in the air right now. Our friends group is meeting next week to discuss the 3 big events we hold this year. I think we're very flexible, that we can, within a couple weeks, either turn it on or turn it off. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I don't know what has everybody else been hearing about the summer events at Regner Park this year.
we don't know the Duck Derby, they're waiting to find out what the deal is with the parade and everything. That might dictate what's gonna happen.
Okay. Because I think everything through June has kind of been on hold, I guess, or moving back maybe. But so I think that's kind of where everybody's at, and we're very fortunate. Like I said, we can wait within maybe a couple of weeks and cancel, I guess. All right. Okay, Secretary Mike Weston, anything going on today?
The only thing I've been trying to walk the river walk and through Regner just about every day, except the last couple of days with the rain. It's nice that we are able to have the trails open and are maintaining them. There's a lot of people that have been using the trails, getting out of the house. So it's nice. There's a lot of people who have been going through Regner Park.
I agree. And
that's about it.
Yep. And Item on Trail is full every single day, all ages, types. So it's good to see. It really is.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody? Quarterly trust report. Is that you, Mike, too, or is that Carolyn?
Carolyn's next to me, so whatever I mess up, she will correct me on. But I'm not going to go through everything. I'll just kind of hit some highlights. Again, we already talked about the PARC account. Right now we're at $65,000. That will be reduced by $15,000 with the transfer funds for the shelter. Another highlight I will mention are the park fees acquisition. These are basically, we always refer to them as park trust fees. These are the funds that we receive with new residential developments. We get just under $2,000 per unit. If it's a single family house, it's $1,975. If it's a condominium complex, again, we get that for each one of the living units, the living quarters. Jim White had a question earlier in the week, because these park trust funds, we need to utilize them on a project within 7 years of acquiring them. So Carolyn, of course, she's our accountant. She went back and determined, or looked through our records. Late September of 2015, this account was down to zero. So since September of 2015, you can see we've grown this account to up to $280,000.
Oh, wow.
I can tell you, but, and again, with the park trust fees, it's not, we can't use it for like the West Riverwalk downtown. The West Riverwalk is an existing facility that's being remodeled, renovated. We can't use this money for that. It has to be a new amenity or a new park in the park system. I can tell you, and I'd rather not mention it on camera, that we do have some ideas for a project that'll be coming up here 2020, 2021, that we would definitely send a recommendation to the Park Commission to financially support that project with some of these funds. Again, the project's in its infant stages, and I'd be happy to talk to the commissioners one-on-one about it. That's something I would certainly like to do here in the near future, but that $280,000 really supports new projects in the city of West Bend. Other items on the report, again, dog park fees, that looks great. At just under $32,000 again. Those funds are set aside for all improvements out at Ralph's Park and some of the maintenance things with the doggy waste bags and all that stuff that the volunteers do out there. So overall, no surprises on a quarterly park trust report. Be happy to take some questions though.
What happens to the money if we don't use it within the 7 years? Where does it go?
We give it back to the developer.
Okay, so it's like, or like a homeowner, if somebody builds their own house, they get it back?
It's a developer's fee, so ultimately, in the long run, the homeowner ends up paying for it, obviously, when they buy their house or their lot or whatever it might be. But the developer has to pay those fees up front.
I see.
Yep.
Any more questions for Mike or Carolyn? All right, Director Mike, you're still on deck.
All right, I got, you get to listen to me a little bit longer here. I got kind of an update from everyone, kind of what we're doing here. So I will be starting with the COVID-19 update. Mike Starr already kind of mentioned it. All of our programs, events, special events, everything has been canceled up to Memorial Day, including the Memorial Day parade. Anything after that, we are pretty much in a holding pattern for programs, rentals, weddings, anything that's going to happen. We don't know, including like the beer garden with the Friends group in June. We have several tournaments in June. Everything right now, we are pretty much on a holding pattern. We are strictly following the guidelines that are in the government, CDC, and the governor's office with the Safe at Home Act and the Bounce Back Plan. But that doesn't mean, like Mike Starl mentioned earlier, Mike Weston mentioned it, our parks are not closed. The playgrounds are closed, the restrooms are closed, the entire active recreation areas are closed. Things like tennis and pickleball are operational, the archery range is operational. You can go swimming, you can go canoeing, you can go kayaking, it's all out there. We are also looking at opening 3 restrooms in mid-May, Regner, Riverside, and then Floss Creek to support the pickleball players out there. Carolyn's working with our cleaning company, getting the schedule set for that. So those restrooms would require daily cleaning. We're following the CDC guidelines on that again also. One thing we had mentioned earlier in tonight's meeting, June 24th, we have a movie in the park night with our sponsors. If we cannot hold our standard movie in the park event, we are looking at having a drive-in movie theater in Regner Park that same evening. And those sponsors are aware of that, and those sponsors are also pretty excited about it. So Nick's rec program, some of them they're canceled for April here in May. He's been pretty busy with ideas like the drive-in movie theater. Also, Nick's working on a virtual 5K, 5K run. You can kind of see the old school logo here on the t-shirts. I think Jim White and Gary Anderson probably developed that logo back in the late 60s.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool going retro with that. We're going to be talking about that a little bit more detail next week. So again, some kind of cool ideas coming out of the COVID-19 situation. With our rec programs coming up for the summer and the mud run, we have suspended registration. We are not canceling the mud run. We are not canceling summer programs. We are just suspending registration at this point in time. If things get canceled, we don't want to be reimbursing hundreds and hundreds of different families within the community. We have people registered for programs. We have people registered for the mud run. If anything gets canceled, those people will get reimbursed their entire dollar amount. We're not going to try and carry money over to next year or anything like that. Normally with the mud run, if someone tries to cancel, it's a non-refundable activity. With COVID, it is refundable. We are going to definitely make sure our customers get their money back. So those are kind of the COVID updates right now. Some project updates. The Riverwalk West project, we are still slated to start in June of this year. We already talked about the library project. Our tree planting project contract is going over real well already this spring. We are still scheduled to resurface the tennis courts and basketball courts in Riverside this year, and we are also scheduled to crack seal and seal the entire Eichenbahn Trail through the city of West Bend yet this. Other recreation activities that we are working on. Nick's looking at rescheduling some of his, or redesigning some of his programs. If we do get the phase 1 of the Bounce Back program with the state of Wisconsin, we may be able to run some of our rec programs with like 9 students and 1 instructor. So the class sizes may be smaller, but we may be able to offer something at some point in time this summer. That's one of our goals. Jackie's busy rescheduling events. She's working with the Memorial Day group on doing a virtual Memorial Day service. Carolyn and Karen say they've been busy here in the office, canceling rentals, talking to our customers. They've done an outstanding job rescheduling family reunions and weddings and all those real personal items for our customers. Those 2 professionals have been really taking care of business here in the office. They're also supporting the clerk's office with voting. A lot of people think that the voting is done. It is not. We have an August primary, and that has already started here at City Hall. And we administratively, we are supporting our our clerk's office and our voting, things like that here in City Hall. Park and forestry operations, spring property prep is pretty much done. Restrooms again are closed. The day we find out we can open, we will have our parks open and operational in about 3 or 4 days. All restrooms, athletic facilities, and everything like that. We have everything ready. So when we get the green light, we will go crazy and get those open. Megan, you probably seen some hotline marks around your neighborhood. We are getting ready to start stump grinding in Villa Park. We would have started today, but the rain doesn't allow that. So the boys are scheduled to either start tomorrow or Monday. So they will be coming through, removing every stump in Villa Park now. It'll take about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on rainfall, other priorities, things like that. But when we get started, we don't like to delay. We just like to get everything done. We also did some tree plantings this spring out at Lac Loran. You guys remember we had the goats out there the last 2 years eating invasive species. We're pretty much in about phase 2, phase 3 of that project, where we were out there. We planted some native trees in some of those areas. We also did some of the same type of planting in Regner Park along Silverbrook Drive. Over the winter, we removed a lot of dead ash trees along Silverbrook Drive in Regner, and we're replanting some native trees in there. So COVID-19 is giving us kind of a new game plan for 2020. I'm sure it's going to change things in 2021. We're looking at doing some new safety improvements to some of the like the Rotary and Kiwanis buildings in Regner Park. Some new guards and glass windows and things like that. So life as we know it has changed. We're going to keep formatting game plans here, and we'll just keep changing, and we're going to make things happen somehow, something this summer. So with that being said, we've been busy, which is good. I like that. And it's going to be 70 degrees out on Saturday and Sunday, so I would suggest for all West Benders, get out of the house if you're not, go social distance, and get out there and enjoy your park system.
Do we have any more questions for Mike at all?
Thank you.
Any questions for Mike? Okay. Well, thanks, Mike, for everything you do. We're very fortunate. Appreciate it. Is there any? Am I hearing somebody in the background wants to? No? Okay, is there anything else for the good of the Park and Rec Commission? No? Well, everybody stay safe, get out on the trails this weekend, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.